What do you do if the appraisal comes in low? Welcome back to another episode in our series 60 Lessons that we've learned over 60 years. And today what we're going to talk about is low appraisals, and we're going to talk about that from the perspective that we are representing the seller, not the buyer.
Correct.
So does the deal fall apart if an appraisal comes in lower than the contract price?
Not necessarily. So what we want to do is, if we get notification of a low appraiser or a low appraisal, is we want to look at it to see if we can challenge it.
We want to see that because when we list something, we believe we know the value.
Yeah.
So when the appraisal comes in, we a lot of times have to fight it, and more times than not, we win.
Mm-hmm.
So how much time does that take? I mean, how can you be sure that your value is more accurate than the appraiser?
I think it's pretty time consuming. I mean, the reality is we have the team. So Julie typically gets notified right away. The appraisal comes in low. She's already starting to work on it. She's texting us and saying, hey, I've got an appraisal issue on 123 Banana Street. And then we're sending comps. We typically call the appraiser. We have a whole team. So the value of working with Carpenter Kessel is we've got a team that's working on getting your appraisal up to where it needs to be, so the seller's not having to change their price.
So when you know the market as well as we do and have the experience we do, and we know the appraiser's guidelines that they're using, all the bank parameters, it's pretty easy to look at the appraisal, see if there's any errors, and then challenge it and make those suggestions. And it's key, again, going back to our lessons of why to work with a local lender. So now we'll have an open line of communication with the lender so that we can submit that challenge so that they'll go up to bat for us as well.
And the appraiser. We have an open line with the appraiser, yeah.
Exactly.
So I would say 9 out of 10 times we're successful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, have you ever had a low appraisal kill the deal?
Rarely. We try to circumvent this because, if we list a property that's unique, not just a straightforward sale or there's not like straightforward comps for it, then I'll already do an analysis in advance. And whenever we know that the appraiser is hired to go out, we may meet them out there or send it in advance just as, hey, here's what we've already worked on, and just kind of helps them. Yeah,
we had a scenario the other day that was kind of freaky. It was a house in here in the Atlantic, I don't know, in the $300,000-$400,000 range. It's not a big house, but they had a mother-in-law suite that you had to go outside to get to it. And we fought the appraiser and fought the appraiser and fought the appraiser, and he would not include that in the living square footage. So ultimately that deal ended up dying, and we sold it to somebody else for the same amount of money. It wasn't a question of the value. It's just the appraiser would not let us use a separate mother-in-law suite.
And then the next appraiser was no issue for them.
No issue at all.
Because we had the hallway.
In 37 years, I've never had this happen before on a mother-in-law suite. Never.
Yeah. Other than that crazy scenario,
they're unique.
Pretty much most appraisers will listen. I've been doing this 37 years, 23 years. A lot of times we know the appraiser. So it's kind of easy to talk to them and they're accepting of a package or analysis that we give them.
An explanation.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, that was really informative. I think a lot of us never knew that you could argue the appraisal. Well, what can we learn from you next time?
Next time we're going to share about why we use concierge agents. So join us next week. It'll be really interesting.
If you're enjoying our videos and our topics, subscribe to our YouTube channel or like our Facebook page for our weekly videos.